Hello, good day. I'm Subir Matthew. I'm from Smart Civil Concepts. Today, we're talking about how to do our 3D visualization using softwares like Artlantis Studio, Lumion, and we'll migrate to Revit architecture if time permits us. So, make sure you watch the video to the end. I'll be going to Revit architecture. Want to open a project, want to load a project that we have done the 3D so that we can export it to Artlantis Studio. Another thing I can do, I have the exported file already, but for the purpose of this training, I'll export it again. So you can see from this video now, I actually did this design with a lower version of Revit before, but now I'm now upgrading it to 2018. For the first thing I want to do, I want to cancel it. I want to copy it from the flash. Then I will save it on a separate place so that it will not interrupt or cause changes to the former file. So paste. Okay. This is the file now. I want to open it with Revit architecture. So I want to upgrade it now. All the patient is loading. Okay, can actually see the model now. So this is a duplex design. I actually did only the model in Revit architecture. This is our cover really.
No more sheets.
Okay, so from this video now, what we want to focus on first is how we can export a Revit file into Artlantis Studio and start the rendering process rather. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do now, I'm on my 3D view. Always make sure you're on your 3D view. Then I'll come to file, I'll come to export. I come to export, I'll come to card format. Or I may decide to come to publish. Come to file, say DWG. The format we want to export this file to is DWF because Artlantis Studio actually recognize DWF file. We also recognize FBX. Let's assume we are exporting from SketchUp now to Artlantis Studio. We are going to export it as FBX, but because we are using Revit architecture now, are going to export it to DWF file. So come to file, when you come to file, say export. Then let's look DW, this is DWF. So you export, but I'll advise you, since we upgraded this design from the lower version, let's save. We need to save first, so that in case, let's save it first before we export. We want to save it as a project, then we specify the location we want to save it. Let's assume we want to save it here now. Then we save, so that we will not repeat saving or upgrading it again. So once we are done with that, we'll come here to export. We'll say if we export it as FBX now, Artlantis Studio is still going to recognize it, but for the purpose of this training, let's export it as DWF/DWFX. Okay, see next. Then going to say DWF. Then I'll specify the location I want to save it. I can come to desktop. Then I'll save it in a particular folder. Okay, you can decide to change the name now. Okay, I'll save it. Okay, once I'm done now, let's just refresh. Okay, so I'm done. I'll come and launch my Artlantis Studio. This Artlantis Studio 5. I'll launch it. It's loading. Okay, as on it loads to show you the project we have worked on before. Let's assume if I want to open any of them now, I'll just right click on it. But since I want to start the visualization of a new project now, I'll come to this drop down, this green icon. Then I'll say open window menu. Then once I come here, I'll right click on, I'll just drop my mouse sensor on, or mouse icon on the open. Then it will this other drop down menu will show up. If I want to import a new project, I'll come to import file. Then I'll go to the place I have the file, because the file is in my desktop. I'll click on desktop, then I'll go to the folder. So the reason why the file did not show now is because we have not turned this place to DWF. Don't forget that we recently saved the file as DWF file. So we'll specify DWF. Let's assume if it is another software or another format we save the file now, we just choose it directly. Let's assume we save it as FBX, we would have choose this one, but since we save it as DWF, make it DWF. You can see that it's now recognized all the DWF file format that are in the folder. Then we right click on this. Once we select this, then we'll say open. Then you can use the unit and the coordinate system from the DWF file. Let's assume we want one unit to be 100 mm. Okay, you can decide to make one unit to be 100. Then once we are done with our unit, we mark the use units and coordinate system from the DWF file you import. So it's importing now. This is actually the model. This is perspective. This is your menu bar. Here, this is your shaders menu. This is your lights, LED on object. Okay. Once you come like this, the first thing you need to do, you turn on your you activate your architectural camera. can see now, you need to is turn off. You say click to activate or deactivate the architect camera. So we click on it. We have activated the architect camera now. So the first thing, we are on perspective. Perspective talk about the angles, the sides, the views. You are actually how you are viewing it. So you can see the camera is capturing it from the up. This is why we are seeing the entire work now. So the next thing we have to do, we go to our 2D view, open the 2D view, we press click on it. Then from here we have our top view, we have our front view, we have our right view, then we have our left view. We have all the 4 views here. So if you want to work on any of the view or want to view it from any of the side, we simply left click on it. Let's assume I want to come to my left view now. I'll click here. You can see that the camera, this is our camera, it capture it. This is an area view, top view, capture it from the top. So let's assume I want to reposition my camera, the angle, the side where it capture it now. You can see when I'm turning my camera, it's taking effect on the perspective view. So I'll come to my top view to set my camera. Let's assume I want my camera to capture it right from inside the fence. You get, okay, I'll put my camera inside now. Just as if I'm a photographer, I've entered the compound, I'm capturing the building. So but the next thing I have to do, I have positioned my camera. The next thing I want to do, I want to set the angle where it's capturing it from. So I'll come here. You can see that it's still capturing it from the up. So I want to capture it from the down side. So I'll start positioning it. You can see. So you can see it. So once I've done this now, I'll go back to my top view to set the camera position the way I want it to be close to the building. I'll set it. Get, okay. 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 I want to do something again. I want a situation where we see the roof completely. Okay. Once I'm done with this now, I want to start editing my material. And another thing I can do, you can see this is our ground here now. You can actually work on it. You can work on it when you come, when you are on your perspective, you want your ground. Then once we on it, we go and set the altitude. We click on the ground. Then the altitude now we set it. We want the average ground level to be lower than our DPC. You can see that we have covered it. So want to set it, want to use so want to go down minus, because we are going down. That's why the negative sign is there. I want to go down by 1000. Okay, was 100 before, but I want to go down. So before I go down, I would like to change the material so that it will be straightforward for me. Okay, I want to change the material of the ground. I want it to be, okay, come here, see edit shader. Okay, I want to edit the shader now. I want to put a particular material on it. Display natural shaders. Okay, if I want it to be ground, I'll put it. If I want it to be this, I'll put it. But I want it to be land. So let's assume if I want it to be water now, I'll just left click on any of this. I'll just drag it to it. But I want it to be land. That's why I brought this now. Then I can increase the size. Then I can mix the color. Can mix the color to, okay. Can increase this. Then the projection, I can make it vertical. Okay, once I'm done with this now, come back to my ground. I want to decrease, I want to make it to go down. I'll work on the altitude. Okay, I'll say okay. Okay, we have done it now. You can now see the outside, right? The outside of the building, the surrounding. Now see grass. Wow. Okay, once we are done with this now, the first thing I want us to work on is our interlocking tiles. So I want us to work on our interlocking tiles. So we'll come here, display wall shaders, display floor shaders, display exterior shaders. So under this we have our concrete, we have our paving material. Let's assume this particular project, if I will be building it, I will use concrete for this. Then I'll left click and drag it. Then the next thing, I'll come back to shader. Then I will reduce the shyness. Can put a little bit of reflection. Then the projection, can work on it. How do I want the projection to be? I can mix the color. If I want it to be dark, if I want it the size, if I want it to be, if I can increase it to my. Then the next thing I want us to work on now is our roof. So we have our roof material in this display wall shaders. So we have we have our bricks, have our coating materials, we have our tiles, we have our roofing materials. You get, can use any of this. Well, let me use this now. Okay, so once I have click on the roof material and I've dragged it to the place I want it to be, the next thing I will do is to come here to adjust the mixture. If I want it to be dark, I'll adjust it. The projection, I want it to be horizontal. Then the next thing, I will keep on working on it. Can edit any of the walls to my satisfaction, but before I do that, I want to come back to perspective. Come to perspective. I'm on perspective now. I want to quickly show you something on Elydion. Elydion talks about your weather, your sun. You get the location you want to use. Now the default is Paris. So if I click it now, the position of sun at 45 degree above to the left. So if I want the sun to the sun effect to be at 40 degree from the left hand side of this building, which is this side now, I'll click on this. Or if I want to set the sun manually on the 2D view, I'll click on this. Then I'll now set the azimuth and the elevation I want to do. Or let's use 45 degree. Maybe on our subsequent video I'll explain more on the sun position. Okay, I can increase the shadow. Then I'll come to activate clouds. You see the cloud is just blue. You get. Okay, if I want to edit it now, I'll activate my cloud. See, when I activated it, you can now see it. If I want to, you can see that the pollution, the percentage of the pollution now is 20. Let's assume I want the pollution to be 50 now, 51, 100. If I want fog, let's assume we are in Harmattan season, so I will on this one. Okay, but we are in rainy season, so I don't need it. So okay, I can adjust the stratus, the cirrus, the cumulus, the cirrocumulus. So I can edit any of these to my specific way I want it to be, based on how I want the environment to be. But there are situations where you don't need to put too much cloud on your building, so that the concentration of the person looking at your 3D will not be taken away by the too much cloud. You get key. Another thing I can do in this cloud, I can come here now. Okay, if I come early there, something I used to do, there's something I can do that this cloud will just be one particular color. uh, these mixtures will not be on it. You get? Okay, can actually work on it, but let me not waste too much time on that now. Okay, let's go back to our perspective. Okay, there is another thing I want to show you. Let's assume this cloud now. I want to in this particular perspective now, if we want to set our cloud, there are three ways to set it. You can actually use the Helidium, the one that came with the software, which is the default cloud. We can actually use gradient, or we import an image into it. You get, and import an external environment or a background to be your sky. Okay, but I want to show you about Helidium. If I want this Helidium now, can set it. I can set it to my specific, the way I want it to be now. I can actually set it. I can bring this down now. You see, adjust the horizontal row angle. Shift plus click. So if I want to snap every 15 degree, I can actually do it the way I want it. If I want it to be darker now, I'll come here, or if I want to choose a darker color, I'll come here. I can even come here, get, and I can change this one. You can see it now. You can see the effect. So it depends on how the environment you want to work on. I can go back here and put it to be this. Then I will take this guy. Okay. Then I can decide to use something like this. But for the purpose of it, I just want to break it down. I'll come back to my Lydia. Okay, can set our adjust our sky now. Come back to our Lydia, come to cloud. Okay, I can come to perspective. I'll make a capture of it. I can actually save. So I can save now. Okay, then I'll start the editing. Then I'll click this. Then I want it to look more white. Then I will decrease the shyness. Okay, yeah. Then when I'm done with that, can I can change this material. So I can decide to pull a particular material, or I adjust the color. Can even decide to make it white. Can decide to make it white.
Evening, sir. How are you? Madam, sir. Won't cover. Okay. Okay. No, I don't go. I don't go town. I'm not going to town. Let me call him see if I can get the mass number. Whether you still be open to when I will be done with what I'm doing.
I actually see the picture of curb in this laptop before.
Before.
Yes, but
Okay. You know the under your file.
um,
Check under your name.
okay, let me check a particular folder. I see it. Let's come to desktop. Then,
Check image. That thing.
wow.
Na Kevin just save that day.
Okay, it's not here now, but okay, in certain condition, we can use this white. Can make it white. Can make it white. Okay, then okay, let me try to match this color to this. Let me see how it look. Okay, okay, we are here now. So I want to put oh, some material. Okay, so we do the sharpness, a little bit of reflection. Then the size, I want it to be 50. Okay, this first now. Okay, I want to if I want to match property of this wall to the fence wall now, I'll click my Alt key down, then I'll hold my left mouse on this particular wall, then I'll drag it to the fence. And if I want to, okay, if I want it to have bumps, then I'll work on it. You can always adjust it. Okay, okay, we are here now. Okay.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, are you? There is no cash. That's the challenge. Except maybe somebody can come, you can get transport there. If you reach there, will transfer the money to the man. There is no cash on ground. Yes, I'll transfer the money to the man. I sent him yesterday. When I got there yesterday, it was transferred to him. We have cash. There is someone that can go with transport. I can, when the person gets there, just to send their card number to me on WhatsApp. I'll send it to him. I know wahala. I know wahala. So okay, if you go, how much will you now spend for transport? You are taking me to. Okay, no wahala. It should not be. I have cash at home if you want to go get cash for the transport. Okay, by tomorrow. Okay. All right, no wahala. Once you get there, just let me know. All right. Okay.
You are trying to put ties, floor
Okay.
ties.
Okay.
I did. Alpha. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Uh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. The next thing you want to do now, you want to put glass, the reflection of our window. So you want to work on it. You can actually put mirror so that the reflection will be high. Okay. Make the reflection to be glass, the refraction to be glass. Then the reflection now want it to be a blue reflective glass. So it depends on if it is green reflective glass, you make the reflection to be the color of the glass they will use. Okay, to diffuse. Then okay. Then the frame, which is the track, the model and everything. You just want to change it to black, to use black material. Okay, then our network on this. Okay, once we are done with this now, you can add build the environment, the surrounding of the building, and add tree. This is when you want to add tree. Supposed to come to object anytime you want to add a tree. Can increase the height, can decrease it, can increase it, and make the tree to be very tall. Okay, yes, can increase the size, can even move it backward, can reduce the size, can make it to be here. Then I can make another one to be here. I want to duplicate it, duplicate it. If you right click, you see duplicate, automatically make a copy of it. Okay, create, can duplicate this, duplicate it, can also duplicate it. I will make this one to be shorter. I will come here and add lamp to it, and add a flower, and increase the height, and rotate it. I can even move it inside. I can set the season and make it to be 24 August. Okay, then I'll okay. Okay, if I want to the how my building is looking now, if I want to adjust the camera, the way to capture it, I can come back and adjust it. Okay, let's assume I want to add ceiling lights to this place. Let's assume I want to work on the ceiling now, so I can always adjust the color. Then I want to add, I'll come to object, don't forget. Okay, these are my display lamps. So this one is ceiling lamps, this one is also ceiling lamp. I prefer using this for now. Okay, I'll click it and I'll drag it to the place. I'll now edit the bulb. You have up to 4 theory bulb. So if I want to edit all the bulb once, I'll edit this first one. If I want to edit them individually, I'll edit 1 to 3. Then I can make this one to be reflecting red. Can increase the power, how brighter the bulb will be. Let's assume I want to use 800. Okay, I can increase the shadow, can run the code, can off it. Then the angle now, I can reduce it or adjust it, but I prefer this 360 degree. Okay, you can see the light now, the power is high. We decide to make it 450. Okay, if it is suitable for me, I'll leave it, but let's make it 200. Okay, this one is very friendly. Then I can reduce the shadow if I feel the shadow is much. Okay, I can make the shadow to be 10. Then I'll come back to object to edit the other box of this. I'll edit this one to be like blue color. Then the power now, I'll make it 200 is okay. Then increase the shadow 10. Okay, you can see. Come back to object. I'll be very sure. Okay, then I'll edit the last one. Then I want this one to be somehow green. Okay, if I want the green to be higher now. Okay, that is the light there. Okay, I want to do it in such a way that the roof will show completely. Okay, Okay. We are good to go now. Okay. Okay. Let's assume let's assume want to render this particular one for the purpose of this project. Okay, we'll come to our Demi console.